See, in today's remote studios is at the Golden Triangle Airport, celebrating 50 years of service to the Golden Triangle area and elsewhere beyond this. Good morning, sir. It's It's Hainsey.
That's right.
And for how many years have people always want to put a Hainsey on there?
I'm 65 so far.
there you go. Michael is the executive director of the Golden Triangle Airport for how many years, Mike?
18.
Retired Air Force pilot. Would you fly?
I flew B-52s and then a lot of training time here.
B-52s?
Yes, I loved it.
Have they modernized since then, or are they flying the same ones?
They're flying the same ones, but this year they're starting to put new engines on them finally.
We have a problem with that. We needed to update, and we were told that they were going to start updating some of those things. But it's a good airplane.
It's a tremendous platform for the military, but it first flew in 1950, so it's interesting.
Amazing. He holds a commercial instrument pilot rating with over 5,500 hours. You still fly?
I do.
Past president of Mississippi Airports Association, former commissioner of the Loudoun County Port Authority, and you are involved and have been involved in a long, long time. Graduate of U.S. Air Force Academy, hold a master's degree in business from Webster University in the land of the St. Louis Cardinals. I didn't say anything about Kansas City Royals.
No, that's okay. But I'm a Braves fan, so that's all right.
Okay, they're a Braves fan. 50 years, and you said you were here for how long now?
18.
18 years. You've seen a lot of growth, Mike.
It's been an amazing ride. So I got here in 2003, and I got here 2 months after we broke ground on what was then the American Eurocopter plant.
No kidding.
Now it's Airbus helicopters.
It is, and how much have they grown?
Well, it started off, they had an 80,000 square foot facility that the airport actually built for them, and they've already expanded. They're over 300,000 square feet. They've got 400 employees. They're making all the commercial helicopters that the Airbus makes in the United States. They're pretty much made here.
When you come in and you turn off 82, you look at this and you say, man, the footprint of this thing is a lot bigger than I thought. It's not a small airport. It's pretty darn big. You keep going and driving and driving and driving because you've encompassed a lot of things here, like the industrial park also. Now, I asked Mike a few moments ago off the air, I said, what is this big building across this just a very expansive building, and I see some steam coming out of it. And I said, what is that building? And it's
Steel Dynamics. It's
Steel Dynamics.
They call it a mini mill, which is what a misnomer. It's almost 1 million square feet under roof. It's a $2.1 billion facility now. They've expanded 3 times since they first got here. It's a tremendous partner here in the Golden Triangle.
And the reason that resonated with me is, and I think Perez will also remember this, is we had this conversation many, many years ago, and I'm dating myself, but when Senator Terry Brown brought this up, and Terry Brown was bringing the fact up that we had a possibility of getting scrap steel coming down the river of the Tennessee Tom Bigby.
That's right. And,
man, we were blasted on the air. I said, look, I read over most of this. I think it's a good project. The state needs to, do what the legislature needs to do what they need to do. I remember getting calls, people saying, Paul, you guys at SuperTalk are ruining your credibility. You did a good job on the beef plant. You exposed that. But this is a boondoggle. This is another beef plant. How long has it been there now?
They've been there 15 years.
Give me a little bit of specs on here. You and I were talking. Share with the audience here a little bit about what this boondoggle is turned into.
Well, just the direct hire is almost 1,000 employees. They average in 6 figures for their average salary.
Whoa.
But they work hard. I mean, making steel is a cleaner business, but it's a very, very hard, labor-intensive business. But just to give you an example of the trickle down, though, there's over 600 trucks a day that go up and down the airport highway or airport road hauling their steel. There's rail trucks, rail cars coming in from the Tenn-Tom Waterway with all the scrap metal, with the iron that comes up from South America, from Mobile. It's a huge supporter now with the Tenn-Tom Waterway. It's a major employer in our area, and they're still growing.
They get scrap metal coming in from all over the world.
The Rust Belt, pretty much. It comes down, down
in the Tom
from the north. That's right.
directly there, and it's shipped out on rail, and they put it on giant rolls. How much do these rolls weigh?
It's kind of interesting because everyone's seen those rolls of steel on the back of a truck, and there's only one roll. You're thinking, it's not that efficient.
Yeah.
But these rolls weigh 56,000 pounds, which if you add to the weight of the truck, that makes it up right to the limit of the 80,000.
I was going to say, you got the limit.
Yeah, the 80,000 pound limit on the roads.
Where do they go from there, Mike?
They go to manufacturers. They do anything. The product they make here can be used for anything from car hoods, and it's wide enough to where they can make it for automobile, or refrigerators, chairs, just commercial use.
So it's shipped all over the country.
Yes.
That is absolutely amazing, and it's still growing.
Yes, they are.
So take that for you people who said it was another beef plant. I understand over the years you've you hit and misses, but that was one of the good hits for the state of Mississippi. What else is located here?
So there's also a company called New Process Steel, which is it takes the product from the steel mill, and then they flatten it out and they cut it into specific segments for different industries, and that also produces a lot of jobs for us in this area.
In other words, if somebody's got a product that, let's say bicycles or whatever they have, they want, washers and dryers, then they just custom make it and send it to them.
They put it in the first step to where they can flatten it out and then ship it to those manufacturing plants.
It is absolutely amazing, and you got more ground here, more places for people to move into.
Well, and I know you've got Joe Higgins coming on a little bit later. He's the expert in it, but there's over 7,000 acres of developable property in this area. The biggest one that we have right now is just all the property to the west of the airport is the industrial aerospace park, and it's either owned or controlled by the industrial authority or the airport. And we're talking almost 3,000 acres of developable property. It has water, sewer, fiber. It has everything on it. It's got 4-lane access. And Joe'll be the one to talk about that.
Absolutely, because number one, that's what they're going to look for. They look for, good educational sources, medical sources, but infrastructure is number one, so they can get their product out. Workforce development, of course, is up there at number one. But,
right. But like I said, Joe's the expert on that one.
Tell me something about the airport here, how it's grown, and some of the prices and everything else, and how you folks have managed during the pandemic itself.
Well, airports aren't like ours. We have a unique niche because we're a small regional airport, but you can reach anywhere in the world. Delta Airlines flies in here 3 times a day right now. It got cut back after the pandemic, but you can fly from here to Atlanta nonstop to the world. 11% of our traffic pre-COVID comes from overseas. So companies like Airbus helicopters that are the American part of a French-German conglomerate, they can travel overseas to their sister plants. PACCAR truck engines, they have a sister plant in Eindhoven. They can go back and forth to Amsterdam, just one hop through Atlanta. And it's so convenient. Yeah, you saw the early morning traffic here. People can get here an hour prior to the flight, get on the airplane, and be wherever they want to in just a few hours.
And for people who travel, I would much rather have the parking be there than at LaGuardia.
We've been doing a lot of marketing in western Alabama, and some of the people are coming over from Tuscaloosa.
Yeah.
And they see the parking here, and they realize that our furthest out parking is curbside compared to Birmingham or something like that.
Absolutely.
And it's very convenient.
Atlanta, Fort Lauderdale, St. Louis, Charlotte. If I miss some markets, let me know. Baltimore, Las Vegas, Los Angeles, Boston.
New York, and D.C. are actually our biggest ones. And that's our business base. That's shifting a little bit because the COVID, you mentioned that with the COVID impact. We used to be a 75% business market, and right now it's running 75% leisure because businessmen aren't traveling yet.
When you start looking at the connectivity, and I mean, there are places to go all over this country and worldwide. I mean, you can take advantage of it, and the price